In today's Photoshop lesson, I'd like to show you the frame tool, which is new in Photoshop 2019. We will make a composite photo with 4 images and some text using the frame tool. We will add a stroke and a drop shadow to all of the photos. Then I'll show you how easy it is to change the images in the frames to make a whole new composite photo. So let's get started, and we will use an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to put our photos in. So we'll go to Create New, click here, and here's a letter 8.5 by 11, 300 ppi. That's perfect. We'll open that up. So now we have that opened up in Photoshop. Let's go find the frame tool. Here it is right here. I'll click on that. Now we have 2 choices. If you look up above, we have the rectangular frame and the oval frame. I'm going to click on the rectangular frame, the one with the square around it, and we'll start with that. Okay, so with the rectangular frame selected, I'm just going to draw a box. I'm going to draw it look something like that. Now if I want to, I can just draw another box. It could be any size or shape, but you know, I think I'm going to undo that, Control Z. I think I'll just make a copy of this box. So I'm going to hold the Alt key down, Option on a Mac, and pull this straight down. That gets it lined up, same size box. Okay, and let's make one more frame on the bottom. Well, actually, let's make 2 more. One on the bottom. Let's put one here. Okay, that's going to give us kind of a panorama look. And then let's make an oval frame over here. So we'll go up here, and let's click on the circular, oval, elliptical, whatever you want to call it. And we'll take that frame and we'll put it right in, well, not exactly where I was thinking, but once I get it drawn out, I can place it. Let's place it right about here. That should work fine. We'll put a picture in there, and let's make a text frame. To do that, we'll just hit the letter T. That'll give us a place for a text box. And on the new Photoshop 2019, if you don't have any text to put in it, Photoshop puts some in for you. But I have some text. I'm just going to paste it in so I don't take the time typing it. And it says, here are some photos I took on our trip to North Georgia. Okay, now all we have to do is put some pictures in these frames. Now, if you have libraries, let me open the library window. Window right there. So there's our library. And I want to turn on the layers. Okay, and there's our background layer down here. Frame 1, frame 1 copy, frame 2, and frame 3. And there's our text layer on the top. Okay, I want you to notice something about these frames too. Let's do frame 1. That'd be the one in the top or upper left. Let me zoom in a little bit. Notice that there's an X here. The X indicates this is the frame. Okay, this area over here will be the picture. Let me show you how that works. We're going to go get a picture from our library. Now, if you have a library open, that's fine. If not, I'll show you another way to do this. I'm just going to take this picture. I'm going to move this over, and I'm just going to drop it in here. Okay, so now that picture's inside that frame. Now, if you notice, we have I can click on the frame. It puts the box around it, or I can click on the picture. Okay, now what I want to do on this picture, well, let me show you something else. If you look real close, those black lines around whichever one is selected. In this case, I've seen some demos where it's a white line, but on my computer it's a black line. But anyway, the picture is selected. Okay, so knowing that, what we're going to do now is hit Control T like we always do, and we can transform the picture. What I'd like to do here is make the picture bigger, make this little kid that's in the photo stand out a little bit. Notice how I can just kind of grow that picture. I can move it around a little bit. I'm going to just stick him over maybe right about there. Okay, so we got a kid walking through the woods. That's it. If I just hit the Enter key, that locks it in. Now our photo's inside the frame. Now if you look carefully, I know there's lines all over the place, but this box here, see this box going around here? That is the picture itself. So that shows that we got it cropped out. And then, like I said, if I click on the frame, there's the size of the frame. Now if I want to change the shape of the frame or anything, I can actually do that too. I can pull that box down, make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever I want to do. Okay. I'm going to put it back where it was with Control Z twice. Okay, so we got our first picture in the frame. I'm just going to tap the Enter key, and that locks it down. Now, if you want to just kind of get rid of some of these lines, I just click on the background layer. That kind of cleans it up. Okay, let's go get the second picture. That should be easy enough. Let's see, which one is that going to be? We'll get this one, and we'll stick it in this frame. We'll see how it fits, see if it fits okay. Now if you notice this picture doesn't fit exactly into the frame we made, it's because this is, again, this is the picture. This thin line on the outside is the picture, and the frame is on the inside. So it's a little bit bigger than the frame we made, but that's okay. I'm going to click on the frame, and that way it's going to have the little black lines around it. Okay, and if I want to, I can actually move the picture back and forth. You kind of center it, or do I like it better over here? I'm going to hold the Shift key down. That'll keep it straight, so I don't have any up and down extra play. So this will help make sure I get it just where I want it. Okay, I'm going to put it right there. Let's go get another one. Let's get this one. We'll drag it down here. Let's see how it fits in there. Well, it fit pretty good. I might take it just like we see it. We can see it fit to the sides, and we could actually move it up and down if we want, but I kind of liked it where it was. So let's leave it right there. And then I got a waterfall that I think will fit good into this one. So let's see how that goes. I'll drop it in here. And there's the waterfall. Now I'm going to have to zoom in to see how that all looks. So I'm just rolling the mouse wheel, and I can zoom in a little bit on that. And the waterfall looks good. It fit fine. I'm not even going to change it. Let me zoom the whole page. There's our composite. We got 4 images. It didn't take too long. Just make the frames and move them around. Now the next thing I want to do is add a stroke and a drop shadow. Now one thing we can do is if you click on the frame, which one should we do first? Let's do this one here. That would be this one. Let's add a stroke to this. If you open up the Windows properties right there, you'll see that the frame property actually has a stroke right in this area right here. I can click on stroke, and there's a couple choices here. I'm going to click on the black one. 1 pixel is pretty small. Let's make it 8 pixels. And let's make it outside the picture. There. Okay, now if we look over here in the picture, we can see that actual stroke being applied. So that looks pretty good. And let me zoom back, and then let's just click on the background. So there's our stroke, but I don't see any way to make a drop shadow. I only could find the stroke. So I played around with this for a while, and I did come up with a way to make a drop shadow and a stroke. It's the old-fashioned way. Let me show you how to do it. So here's how I found that I could put a stroke and a drop shadow on at the same time. I'm going to select all of my layers except for the background layer. So I clicked on the top one, I shift-clicked on the bottom one, and I'm going to group these layers. Now the easiest way is just hit Control G, and we have a group. Now you can use the right menu and dig out of all these. You can find the group from layers, but just hit Control G. That's easy to remember. And then we're going to just add a layer style to this. You can go through the menus, but why not just double click right here? And it brings up the layer styles box. That's the easiest way. And then what do we want to do? We want stroke right here. I'm going to click right here. 6 pixels. You can see it. Let's make it a little bigger so we really see it. Let's make it 7. That ain't much bigger. There's 8. That's enough. Outside, that's good. And we want a drop shadow. Now I usually like to drop shadow over here about 10 o'clock. I'm looking here, and this drop shadow, which is at 18 distance and 35 size, that looks fine to me. So let's go with that. So look, all the pictures now have a stroke and a drop shadow around them. We can change the color of the stroke, and we can change the drop shadow, and we do one, they all get changed. Well, what we want to do now is just maybe tweak this a little bit. When I'm looking at, let's open up this group so we can see all our pictures here. This picture here, I think, needs to go up a little bit. I see a little more space here than I want. I'm going to get the move tool. That'd be V. Click on the frame. Now I'm just moving this up with the up arrow until it's pretty equal. I think it's pretty close there. This one is okay. I'll take it there. I'm going to click on the background. And I'm going to zoom back a little bit. Okay, so you tweak it around, get it where you want it. And there you have it. Just for fun, I'm going to make a new layer. Watch this. This will be fun. Make a new layer. Okay, I have a new layer, and I'm going to put a gradient on this layer. I'm going to take the letter G, brings up the gradient, and it's set from foreground to background. Man, it's kind of a blue and a gold thing. Let's see what that looks like. But with the blue, let's put the blue on the bottom and the gold on the top. And how does that look? Well, that changed the look of our background a little bit. And what do you say? It's a little bit too heavy-handed. What if I just give it a light, like a nice, I don't know, something like that. And that kind of matches the colors a little bit. Okay, anyway, we're done horsing around. We've made our document. Now the thing we should do here is save this as a template. And then we can just use it whenever we want and just change the pictures out. I'll show you how to do that. So let's save it first that we got it made. We'll go File, and then we're going to want to click on Save As. And then we want to put it in a folder. I'm going to put it in this one called Photoshop Template. And I already got this you can see I've been doing this for a while. 4 photo composite. This would be number 4. So I'm going to put a number 4 in here. 4 photo composite number 4. Save. Okay, now we have that saved. And let's just say, for instance, we made this print and it came out beautiful and everything's good to go. And so it's closed. And then one day we said, oh, let's make another one of those 4 photo composites. Let's use the old one. So here it is right here. I'm going to double click on it. There we go. There it is. There's our 4 photo composite. Now it's the same one that we did last time, but let's say we wanted to add some new photos in here. Okay, and let's say you don't use the library, so let me turn that off. We don't need this property anymore. Let's say you have Finder or Windows Explorer. Let me find one of those. Here we go. And here's some photos in Finder and Windows Explorer. And let's say you went and shot some pictures in Sarasota. Let me move this over just a little bit. And then in this first photo, you took this image right here. Watch this now. I'm going to take it and drag it. I'm going to drop it in this frame. Boom. Now, let's just do them all. Let's take this one of the library in Sarasota. We'll put that in this frame. Okay. Bring up Finder or Windows Explorer again. Here's one of a swimming pool. We'll put it in this frame. And once I get them all in, I can tweak them. But now we know we can't. We have to be able to see them both. So I'm going to move that over a little bit. Now I can drop it right in this frame. There we go. Okay. So let's zoom in a little bit. We'll look at this first one and see how we like it. Let me click on the background. Okay. Let's see if we like the way it fits. It looks pretty good. I think we can go with just that. Let me click on it, make sure. If I click on the picture, yep, so missing a little off the top and the bottom, but I think we'll go with that. Okay, let's click on the library. The library's missing a little bit off the sides, but I think it's okay. It's centered. If I wanted to, I could move it to the left or to the right, or I could change the frame size. Just to prove that I can do that, let me click on the frame. That'd be over here, and I'll just drag this over to the line. See what I'm doing? Now I made the frame a little bigger, but you get the idea. Okay, and what else we got? Let's move down to the bottom, the swim pool. Let's see how that fits. So that's good. Okay, and let's look at the whole picture. And this one here did okay too. Look, it's right pretty much where we want it. Maybe I can tweak it over here a little bit. I'm going to hold the shift key down so I keep it straight. Okay, so we tweaked them around a little bit. Oh, and there was one more thing we should do. I'm going to hit the V key and position this maybe right about there. Okay, that's it. Now I can print this and I'm ready to go. So anytime we want to make a 4 photo composite, all we have to do is replace these photos, and these frames made it a lot easier than using layer mask or clipping mask. They're a little trickier to use. Anyway, that's it. I hope you picked up something. Thanks for watching.